Good morning. It's Wednesday, hump day. Mike. So, we've been talking about anchors for quite a while. So, let me ask you this. What type of anchors do you have around money? Stop and ask yourself, what are the beliefs that you have regarding money, and what are the anchors that you have regarding money? Do you have anchors like money doesn't grow on trees? Take care of the pennies and the dollars will follow? Or do you have anchors like it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven? It's the root of all evil. What are any of those resonating with you? So a lot of us have some negative anchors with regards to money, and we've been trained to think about money in some positive ways, like it's something you need, but that if there's excess money, then you're a bad person, or you've done bad things, or you have to do bad things, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. And if you want financial independence, if you want financial freedom, you're going to have to deal with these anchors. It's easier for a camel to get through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. We talked about this before. Do you know what the eye of the needle is? It's an actual place. It's an actual place in Jerusalem, and in order to get through, it's a small arch. And in order to get through the eye of the needle, a man has to be on his knees. He has to be a penitent man, and then he can get through the eye of a needle. Camels can't crawl on their knees, so they're not going to be able to get through that. So the moral of the story was not that money was bad, but that you needed to still be penitent, whether or not you were wealthy or not wealthy, in order to get into heaven, that the wealth didn't matter. It didn't mean that rich people couldn't get into heaven. It just meant that you're supposed to be penitent. So what other anchors might you have? And share some of them if you get a chance. Share some of the anchors that you have around money, because a lot of us have been taught that money is a bad thing, that people who are rich are doing bad things. There's a lot of that right now, right? We're attacking all the billionaires in the country, as if every billionaire is a bad person. They've done bad things in order to make billions of dollars. Warren Buffett said it's a combination of hard work, intelligence, and luck. He said hard work and intelligence can make you a millionaire and a multimillionaire, but then you get a golden ticket in order to become a billionaire. You happen to be at the right place at the right time, and so you get the golden ticket. And most of them end up giving their money away. I mean, most of them end up doing very good things with their money. And if they don't, typically the third generation blows it anyway, and it's back in the system circling around. So I don't know why we attack billionaires as much as we do. But if you want financial independence, you've got to attack your own anchors that you have towards money. And we all have them. And, there's a lot of reasons why we do. There's a lot of reasons in our upbringing why we do. But for today, let's just talk about how do we elicit them. Think about, do you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back when it comes to money? Do you have preconceived ideas about people who are wealthy? Do you think about accumulating money as something that's bad? So let's start to attack those a little bit. I had somebody say to me, if you don't think that making money is a great thing, then you haven't given enough away. And let's think about it. I mean, one of the best things that you can do with money is help somebody else. I mean, if you've ever had the opportunity to really make a difference in somebody's life by doing something financially, especially if they don't know about it, it's one of the most rewarding things that you can possibly do. So money isn't the source of the problem. If accumulating money and having financial freedom allows you to really make a difference in people's lives and feel as good as anything that you can do, then it's not the money that's the problem, it's the belief. Maybe you have a belief that you have to do bad things in order to accumulate money, that people who accumulate large amounts of money, cheat other people or are bad in some fashion. I know a lot of people that I know personally that have that belief. And again, is that really true? I mean, Ebenezer Scrooge, did he really make his money because he was a jerk, or did he make his money because he was smart, he was thrifty, and he worked harder than everybody else? I haven't met anybody significantly wealthy that doesn't work their tail off and isn't smarter than I think most people give them credit for. I've yet to meet a really rich person that isn't passionate, dedicated. Now, are some of them, maybe not as ethical as others? Sure. But quite frankly, I think that holds them back. I don't think that helps them in any way, because what goes around comes around, and it does come around. I mean, you can see it if you're around them for a long period of time. The people who I've met who are significantly wealthy are actually the ones that are more ethical and are really, really like to help people. Those of you that are from my hometown, you know of a person who created several family businesses here in my hometown that made huge amounts of money and was the most generous person. He and his wife were the most generous people that I ever met. They would give tons of money to people that they've never met. And he had incredible wealth. And it seemed like the more that he gave away, the more that he accumulated. You know, one of the ways that I look at money is a reflection of the value that I create for others. You know, money is a reflection of how much good I've done in their life. Money is a reflection of the value you can create for anybody. Create more value, you're going to create more of a financial reward. Money could be the reflection of how hard you've worked or how much that you've saved. The ability to accumulate money gives you the ability to make an impact on the future and on other people's lives. It gives you the ability to make an impact on your kids. You know, think about what is it that you could do? What are the good things that you could do if you had financial freedom, if you had significant wealth? How else could you help your family? How else could you help your community? Could you start a foundation? Could you help kids get scholarships? Could you help kids read books? Could you help people who are in need medically? That's another thing I've seen wealthy friends of mine do with my clients, is to loan people money who need it while they're going through the cases that I represent them on. And I mean, it's a huge opportunity for both of them. Makes them both not only feel really good, but I mean, clearly it's an unbelievable necessity for my clients. When you have financial freedom, you have the ability to help others. You have the ability to make a difference. Because while money doesn't buy happiness, money does create opportunities, and it does bridge that gap many times that between where people are and where they need to go. And it can be incredibly helpful. So what if your new beliefs that you started instilling were money is a reflection of the value I create in others? Money is freedom. Money creates opportunity to help others. Money creates opportunity for me to make a difference in the world. Money creates opportunity for me to make a difference in my family. You know, what about if you got to buy your parents a house? What about if you got to take your parents or your family on that dream trip? What about if you were able to say, you know what, I got this, and we're all going to go to Disney, we're all going to go to Bora Bora, we're all going to go to the Great Wall, we're all going to go to on a safari, whatever. What if you had the ability to do that with your entire family? And not because you wanted accolades, but because you wanted to share that experience with them. You know, not because you wanted them to all bow down to you and say, oh, you're great, but because you really wanted to have that moment. You know, what if you had a family member that got ill and you were able to come in and make sure that everything that they needed, they had? Again, not because you wanted accolades, but because you have that financial freedom that you could actually provide in that way. What if you were able to do that? There's a lot of ideas, especially especially with religions, that you get these preconceived ideas that money is bad and that people who accumulate money are bad. It's not true. And the first thing that you got to do if you're going to achieve financial freedom is address these anchors. So for today, let's start out with, let's find them. Find the anchors that you got, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about how it is that you get rid of them, And you know, we've discussed collapsing anchors before, but we're going to do it even more. So I offer you the opportunity to write them down and share them if you like. If you don't, that's fine. But please take a little bit this morning and figure out, what are the anchors that you have with regards to money? What are the anchors that you have with regards to the accumulation of money and people who are significantly wealthy, good and bad? Awareness is the first part, so let's do that today. So have a great Wednesday, everybody. Everybody in the world's on here this morning. This is awesome. Mr. Dakin, good morning. Anita Sanders, great to see you. Ms. Bolin, wonderful to see you. My great Uncle Bill, this is my Uncle Bill's shirt. Dolores, always a joy. I hope things are going great. Mr. Musser, I hope all is well with you and good to see you, sir. Mr. Williams, everybody saying hi. Great to see you all this morning. Have an awesome day. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.